Story 1. I became a flight attendant 2 years ago after spending 5 years as a hotel concierge. I thought dealing with demanding guests would prepare me for anything. But airplane passengers are a different breed entirely. You can't just walk away when you're 30,000 feet in the air. I was working for a mid-sized regional airline, doing the Phoenix to Seattle route mostly, and the pay was decent enough to cover my student loans from hospitality school. That particular Monday morning flight was almost full. I'd already dealt with 3 passengers who wanted to switch seats, one guy who tried to bring a full-size suitcase as a carry-on, and a kid who spilled apple juice all over row 12. We were still boarding when I noticed her standing in the aisle near row 7, hands on her hips, staring at her seat like it had personally insulted her. I walked over with my best friendly flight attendant smile. "Me, can I help you find your seat?" "Karen, I found my seat. That's the problem." "Me, is there something wrong with it?" "Karen, everything is wrong with it. This entire section is wrong." I looked at the seat. It was a standard economy seat. Clean, intact, nothing obviously broken or stained. "Me, what seems to be the issue?" "Karen, the climate. This plane seat violates my personal climate." "Me, the temperature in the cabin?" "Karen, no, not just temperature. The entire atmospheric composition of this specific location." Other passengers were trying to get past her in the aisle, struggling with their luggage while she blocked the way. "Me, ma'am, I need you to take your seat so other passengers can board. Once we're in the air, I can definitely help you get more comfortable." "Karen, you don't understand. I can feel it. The humidity levels here are completely wrong for my body's needs." "Me, the cabin humidity is regulated throughout the entire plane. It's the same in every section." "Karen, that's what you think. But I'm sensitive. I can detect variations that your instruments can't measure. This area feels betrayed by humidity." "Me, I'm sorry, the area feels what?" "Karen, betrayed by humidity. It's simultaneously too dry and too moist." "How is that even possible? What kind of plane are you running here?" The passengers behind her were getting visibly frustrated. One man cleared his throat loudly. "Me, ma'am, I really need you to sit down. We can discuss this once everyone is boarded." "Karen, I'm not sitting in a seat that has atmospheric betrayal. I need you to adjust the cabin weather immediately." "Me, I can't adjust individual seat climates. The air system works for the entire cabin. But once we take off, I can bring you some water or a cold towel if you're feeling warm." "Karen, water? A towel? Do you think I'm asking for spa services? I'm asking for breathable air that respects my personal ecosystem." My colleague, James, appeared beside me. He'd been doing this job for 10 years and had the patience of a saint. "James, good morning. What can we help you with today?" "Karen, finally, someone who looks like they might have authority. Your coworker here doesn't understand atmospheric requirements." "James, I'd be happy to help. What do you need?" "Karen, I need the climate in this section adjusted. The humidity is wrong. The air pressure feels hostile, and there's definitely a draft coming from somewhere that's disrupting my personal temperature regulation." "James, the cabin is pressurized evenly throughout, but I can offer you a blanket if you're feeling cold from any air vents." He reached up to grab a blanket from the overhead bin. "Karen, I don't need pity fabric." She grabbed the blanket from his hands and threw it back at him. It hit him in the chest and fell to the floor. "James, ma'am, I'm going to need you to calm down and take your seat." "Karen, I will not calm down. This is a safety issue. If the atmospheric conditions are this wrong on the ground, what's going to happen when we're in the air? Are you going to suffocate me with your inadequate climate control?" "Me, the cabin air system is completely safe and regulated by federal aviation standards." "Karen, federal standards don't account for people with heightened environmental sensitivity. I have a condition." "James, what condition is that, ma'am?" "Karen, climate awareness syndrome. My doctor says I'm more attuned to atmospheric changes than average people." James and I exchanged glances. James, do you have documentation of this condition that requires special accommodation? Karen, I shouldn't need documentation. This is discrimination against the climatically aware. The captain's voice came through the speaker system, announcing that we needed to finish boarding for an on-time departure. James, ma'am, here are your options. You can take your assigned seat. You can see if another passenger is willing to switch with you, or you can deplane and take a different flight. But you cannot stand in the aisle blocking other passengers. Karen, I want to speak to the pilot about the cabin conditions. James, the pilot is preparing for takeoff and cannot leave the cockpit. If you have concerns about the aircraft's air system, you're welcome to file a complaint with the airline after the flight. Karen, this is outrageous. I'm being forced to sit in hostile atmospheric conditions. Me, ma'am, I need a decision now. Sit down or deplane. She looked around at all the other passengers watching her. Several people had their phones out, probably recording. Karen, fine, I'll sit in your defective climate zone, but I'm reporting all of you. She threw herself into her seat dramatically and immediately pressed the call button. James, ma'am, we haven't taken off yet. Please don't use the call button until we're in the air. Karen, I'm documenting the time that I first requested climate assistance. We continued boarding. 5 minutes later, she pressed the call button again. Then again 2 minutes after that. Before we even pushed back from the gate, she'd pressed it 7 times. The captain made the decision to have her removed from the flight. Airport security arrived and escorted her off, while she shouted about atmospheric discrimination and climate violation lawsuits. As the door finally closed and we prepared for departure, the passenger in the seat next to where she'd been sitting leaned into the aisle. Passenger, so is it just me, or does this seat feel perfectly fine? The entire section burst out laughing. Story 2. I've been working retail at this department store for 3 years now. Started as a cashier during college and worked my way up to customer service desk supervisor. I've seen a lot in that time. Everything from people trying to return obviously worn clothes to someone attempting to exchange a toaster they bought at a completely different store. You develop thick skin in this job, but some days still manage to surprise you. It was a Saturday afternoon, which is always our busiest time. The customer service desk had a line about 8 people deep, mostly returns and exchanges from people who'd gotten gifts they didn't want. I was processing a straightforward return for a woman when I heard the commotion behind me. Karen, excuse me, I need help immediately. I finished scanning the last item and turned around. Me, I'll be right with you. Ma'am, just one moment. Karen, I don't have moments to spare. This is urgent. I handed the previous customer her receipt and gestured for this woman to come forward. She was carrying a garment bag, which she dramatically placed on the counter like she was presenting evidence at a trial. Me, how can I help you today? Karen, I need to return this dress. It's completely unacceptable. She unzipped the bag and pulled out a floral sundress. It looked like it had been sitting in a closet for a while, a bit wrinkled but otherwise fine. Me, okay, do you have your receipt? Karen, of course not. I bought this 2 years ago. I paused, wondering if I'd heard her correctly. Me, I'm sorry, did you say 2 years? Karen, yes. Spring collection from 2 years ago, and it's outdated now, which is your fault for selling it. Me, ma'am, our return policy is 30 days with a receipt, 90 days for store credit with proof of purchase. 2 years is well beyond that. Karen, I don't care about your arbitrary timelines. You sold me a dress that became unfashionable. That's false advertising. Me, the dress was in fashion when you purchased it. Styles changing over time isn't something we can control. Karen, but you should have warned me. You should have told me this dress would be outdated in 2 years. Several people in line behind her were starting to stare. I kept my voice calm and professional. Me, all clothing eventually goes out of style. That's just how fashion works. I can't accept a return on something purchased 2 years ago. Karen, this is a fashion crime. You committed a crime against me by selling this. Me, I understand you're frustrated, but I can't process this return. Is there anything else I can help you with today? She grabbed the dress off the counter and held it up like she was presenting evidence to a jury. Karen, look at these flowers, these patterns. Nobody wears this anymore. This is assault with a deadly garment. Me, ma'am, please lower your voice. You're disrupting other customers. Karen, fashion crimes must be undone. She started pacing in a circle right there in front of my desk, holding the dress above her head like a protest sign. Other customers were backing away, giving her a wide berth. Karen, fashion crimes must be undone. Fashion crimes must be undone. She kept chanting it, walking in circles, the dress billowing behind her. My manager, who'd been helping on the floor, came rushing over. Manager, what's going on here? Me, she wants to return a dress from 2 years ago. The woman stopped pacing and turned to my manager with wild eyes. Karen, finally, someone who understands justice. Your employee is refusing to correct your store's fashion crimes. Manager, ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. If you don't, I'll call security. Karen, security. For demanding accountability. Manager, you're causing a disturbance. Please take your dress and go. Karen, you're all criminals. Fashion criminals. This dress is evidence. She was still shouting when security arrived. 2 officers who knew us well from previous incidents approached her calmly. Security, ma'am, time to go. Karen, I'm being oppressed by outdated florals. They escorted her toward the exit, though she kept trying to turn back and wave the dress at us. She was still yelling about fashion crimes when the automatic doors closed behind her. The line of customers who'd been waiting erupted into scattered applause. One woman stepped forward. Customer, does this happen often? Me, more often than you'd think. My manager patted me on the shoulder. Manager, good job keeping your cool. Take your break after you finish this line. I processed the next return, a normal exchange of a sweater that was the wrong size. The customer smiled at me. Customer, at least my return is only from last week. Me, believe me, that's refreshing. For the rest of my shift, other employees kept coming up to ask if it was true that someone had tried to return a 2-year-old dress while chanting about fashion crimes. I confirmed the story each time, and each time it sounded more ridiculous. When I got home that night, I looked at my own closet full of clothes I'd bought years ago. Some were definitely outdated, but somehow I managed to resist the urge to march them back to the store and demand justice for my fashion crimes. Story 3. I've been a parking enforcement officer for about 5 years now. It's not the most glamorous job, and people definitely don't love seeing me, but someone has to do it. I keep traffic flowing, make sure emergency vehicles can access hydrants, and generally help maintain order in the city. Most people understand when they get a ticket, even if they're not happy about it. They know they parked illegally, they accept the consequences, and they move on with their day. I was doing my usual route downtown on a Thursday morning. The weather was nice, and I was making good time. I turned onto Maple Street and immediately spotted it. A silver luxury sedan parked directly in front of a fire hydrant. Not close to it, not kind of near it, but right in front of it, maybe 2 feet away. It was one of the most blatant violations I'd seen all week. I pulled out my ticket book and walked over to the vehicle, noting the make, model, and license plate. I was about halfway through writing when I heard the click of heels on pavement. Karen, excuse me, what are you doing? I looked up to see a woman in expensive workout clothes speed walking toward me, coffee cup in one hand and phone in the other. Me, writing a parking citation for this vehicle. Is this your car? Karen, yes, and you need to stop right now. Me, ma'am, you're parked in front of a fire hydrant. That's a violation of city code. Karen, I was only gone for 5 minutes. I just needed to grab my coffee. I glanced at the coffee shop across the street, then at the several legal parking spaces visible from where we stood. Me, There are open spots half a block down. This is a safety issue. Emergency vehicles need access to hydrants. Karen, you don't want to do this. I have influence. She said it with this tone, like she was doing me a favor by warning me. I kept writing. Me, that doesn't change the parking regulations, ma'am. Karen, my husband knows a lawyer. A very good lawyer. Me, that's fine. You can contest the ticket if you feel it was issued in error. The information is on the back. I finished filling out the citation and tore it from the book. She was staring at me like I just insulted her entire family. Karen, you're actually going through with this. Me, yes, ma'am. You parked illegally in front of a fire hydrant. I held out the ticket. She snatched it from my hand so violently that the paper crinkled in her grip. Karen, do you know who I am? Me, no, ma'am. Karen, I volunteer at the mayor's fundraisers. I know people. Me, I'm sure you do. The ticket is $50, or you can appear in court to contest it. Have a good day. I started to walk away, moving toward the next vehicle on my route. That's when she really lost it. Karen, this is how revolutions start. I stopped and turned back around. She was standing there in the middle of the sidewalk, holding the ticket above her head like a battle flag. Karen, this is tyranny. This is oppression. You're persecuting innocent citizens. Me, ma'am, you parked in front of a fire hydrant. Karen, I'm being targeted because of my status, because you're jealous of people who have nice things. A few pedestrians had stopped to watch the scene. One guy was openly recording on his phone. I kept my voice level and professional. Me, you're not being targeted. Anyone parked in front of a fire hydrant would receive the same citation. Karen, my husband's lawyer is going to destroy you. You'll lose your job. You'll never work in this city again. Me, you have the right to contest the ticket in court. All the information is printed on the citation. Karen, I'm calling my husband right now. He'll have you fired before lunch. She pulled out her phone and started frantically dialing, still standing in the middle of the sidewalk. I continued down the street to check the next block. Behind me, I could hear her voice getting louder as she apparently got someone on the phone. Karen, you need to call the lawyer right now. This officer is harassing me. He's discriminating against me. I documented 2 more violations and was heading back to my vehicle when I saw her again. She was still on the phone, gesturing wildly at her car. About 20 minutes later, I got a call from my supervisor. Supervisor, hey, did you write a ticket on Maple Street this morning? Silver sedan by the hydrant. Me, yeah, textbook violation. Why? Supervisor, got a call from someone claiming you were rude and unprofessional. Said her husband knows lawyers and you're going to be fired. Me, I was completely professional. I've got the body cam footage if you need it. Supervisor, already checked it. You did everything by the book. Just wanted to give you a heads up that she's probably going to file a formal complaint. Me, understood. Supervisor, don't worry about it. We get these all the time. People think connections will get them out of tickets. The complaint did come through, and I had to write up a report about the incident. My supervisor reviewed the body cam footage, confirmed I'd acted appropriately, and the complaint was dismissed. The ticket stood. 2 weeks later, I was back on the same route and saw that same silver sedan. This time it was parked legally, half a block down from the coffee shop. Small victories. I never did hear about any revolution starting over a parking ticket, but I did hear from my supervisor that the woman paid the $50 fine rather than going to court. Turns out even lawyers who know lawyers can't make fire hydrant laws disappear. Story 4. I took the job at Radiant Skincare Boutique about 8 months ago after my coffee shop gig became too unpredictable with the changing schedules. The skincare store paid a bit better and had consistent hours, which I needed since I was trying to save up for a car. The owner trained me on the basics of different skin types, how to read ingredient lists, and which products worked for what concerns. Most customers were pretty straightforward about what they needed. It was a quiet Wednesday afternoon when she came in. The store was empty except for one other customer browsing our sales section. She walked straight to the counter where I was organizing samples. "Karen, I need to return this immediately. It's completely wrong for me." She slammed a jar of moisturizer on the counter. I recognized it as one of our mid-range hydrating creams. "Me? Sure, I can help with that. Do you have your receipt?" "Karen, I don't need a receipt. Your coworker sold me this last week, and she clearly had no idea what she was doing." "Me, can you tell me what issue you had with the product?" "Karen, the issue is that she didn't listen to what I actually needed. My skin isn't dry. It's emotionally dehydrated." I waited for her to smile or indicate she was joking. She stared at me with complete seriousness. "Me, I'm not sure I understand what you mean." "Karen, of course you don't. Nobody in this store understands skincare at a deeper level. My skin doesn't need regular hydration. It needs spiritual moisture." "Me, so you're looking for a different type of moisturizer." "Karen, I'm looking for someone who actually listens. My esthetician told me that my skin is depleted on an energetic level. It's not about water content. It's about soul alignment." "Me, we do carry some products with essential oils and botanical ingredients that some customers find very soothing. Would you like to try something like that?" "Karen, essential oils. That's still physical moisture." I said spiritual moisture, not water moisture. Her voice had risen significantly. The other customer in the store glanced over nervously. "Me, I want to help you find the right product, but I need to understand what specific ingredients or properties you're looking for." "Karen, I'm looking for something that addresses my aura, not my epidermis. My energy healer said my skin barrier is fine, but my spiritual barrier is compromised. I need products that work on that level." "Me, our products are formulated for skin health based on dermatological science. If you're looking for something that works on an energetic level, that might be outside what we offer here." "Karen, so you're admitting you sold me the wrong thing." "Me, I'm saying that if your concern is spiritual rather than physical, our moisturizers might not be what you need." "Karen, but your coworker promised me this would help. She said it was hydrating." "Me, it is hydrating for the skin. It adds moisture to help with dryness." "Karen, I told her I don't have dry skin. I have emotionally dehydrated skin. There's a huge difference." "Me, can you explain what emotionally dehydrated skin means to you?" "Karen, it means my skin is crying out for connection, for meaning, for products that understand it on a soul level. Your moisturizer just sits on the surface, addressing shallow physical needs." "Me, all moisturizers work on the surface of the skin. That's how skincare products function." "Karen, that's the problem with modern skincare. It's all so superficial. Nobody thinks about the deeper layers of existence." My manager came out from the back room, probably hearing the raised voices. "Manager, is everything okay out here?" "Karen, no. Your employee is being deliberately obtuse. I've explained multiple times that I need spiritual moisture, and she keeps offering me physical products." "Manager, ma'am, we sell skincare products formulated with ingredients for skin health. We don't carry products marketed for spiritual purposes." "Karen, then why did your other employee sell me this?" She jabbed her finger at the moisturizer jar. "Manager, she probably sold you a hydrating moisturizer because you mentioned dehydration. Our staff is trained to help with skincare concerns." "Karen, but not soul-level concerns. You're all trained in this narrow-minded approach to beauty." "Manager, if you're unhappy with the product, I can process a return for you." "Karen, I don't want a return. I want someone to understand what I'm asking for." "Manager, I understand what you're asking for, but we don't carry those types of products. You might want to try a metaphysical shop or a wellness store that specializes in energy work." "Karen, so you're refusing to help me." "Manager, I'm telling you we don't have what you're looking for." Karen stared at both of us for a long moment, then grabbed the moisturizer jar. "Karen, fine. I'll find a store that actually cares about holistic beauty. You're all trapped in your materialistic skincare bubble." She stormed toward the door, then turned back. "Karen, and for your information, this cream made my skin feel judged." She left, the door chiming aggressively as it closed behind her. The other customer approached the counter with a face serum. "Customer, my skin is just regular dry. Like normal dry. Physical dry." "Me, perfect. This will work great for you." "Manager, thank God for customers with skin that exist on this plane of reality." We both started laughing, and I rang up the sale. That evening, we got an online review claiming we refused to acknowledge non-physical skincare needs and that our staff was dimensionally biased. My manager printed it and taped it to the break room wall under a header that read, "Our greatest hits."